The program manager for Liberty County CVB, and we are back in the kitchen today with Miss Susan McCorkle. She has been around Liberty County for a long time. She grew up here, and she is going to be cooking her fried chicken today. And so, Miss Susan, take it away.
All right, hi. We're going to have fried chicken today. This is something that my family has enjoyed for a very long time. We had a family restaurant here, and this is what our specialty was. So, to begin with, we've already washed our chicken. So now we're going to use salt and pepper and season all to get it ready.
Is it important to keep the chicken moist?
I like to keep mine moist. The salt and pepper sticks to it better. And then whenever you go to flour it, the flour sticks. And my family always liked the crust, even though that's not really good for you. That's what everybody likes. We've already put the oil on, so it's getting hot.
What kind of pan are we using today?
It's a cast iron frying pan. I prefer that. The heat conducts better there. You have more even heat all the way throughout.
And what kind of chicken parts are you using?
This is all parts.
All parts?
Mm-hmm.
And bone-in?
Bone-in chicken, all parts. Because everybody likes to know everything.
And what kind of oil are we using?
I like using a vegetable oil. Wesson is my preference, but anything that you like or that we like to cook with is good. Normally I do this in the sink where you have more room.
Well, what are you doing?
I've just put the pepper on, and now I'm going to salt the chicken. And then I'll put the seasoning on it.
So salt and pepper, and then what else are you using to season it?
Season all.
Okay.
You want to make sure it's evenly coated.
How often would you say you make fried chicken?
Growing up, I have two brothers. We had fried chicken at least once a week. That was a staple in our household. Once I had a family of my own, and the children were growing up, probably once every 2 weeks. But having a restaurant where you could have it every day, we got used to that. Okay. You can season to your preference, how much you like. You like it with, some people like to use a little bit of hot sauce in their chicken. I just like the salt and pepper and the seasoning. Okay.
And you don't measure anything, you just kind of...
I do not measure.
You've done it for long enough, you know
I've
what you're
been
doing.
cooking this since I was like 13. I had to cook lunch for us during the summer because my parents worked during the summer, so when they come home for lunch, I had a full meal fixed for 5 of us. Now I'm going to put the flour in the pan.
And what kind of flour are we using?
Self-rising flour is what I use.
And why do we use self-rising instead of all-purpose? Is there a reason, or
That's just what I've always used. That's what my grandmothers used. And I put in a little bit more salt and pepper in the flour. Some things you just learn from your grandmothers just because. Just mix it up. Okay. Because our pieces are all different sizes, I try to vary what I'm putting in there. And since we have a huge breast, it's going to take longer to cook than everything else.
So put the bigger pieces in first, maybe.
That mix them.
Uh-huh.
And if you're cooking for a large crowd, you may want to have 2 frying pans if you're doing this inside, or either have a cooker on the outside, because this does tend to get a little messy. Our pan is a little full. The grease needs to be about 350. This one's a little hot. I'm not putting it all the way in there.
If you don't have a thermometer at home, is there a way to tell when the oil's about ready?
It needs to be 350. Your oil, you can tell by it being hot, being over the top, putting your hand over the top of it. a little bit. Grease in here. Oil.
That was my fault.
And my helper put a little too much oil in there. Because we have a little too much oil in here, I'm going to try and get some of it out. You don't want your grease overflowing on your stove top. You can always cause a fire. If that happens, you need to have a lid or baking soda to help put it out. There we go. Because I have flour everywhere, you need to make sure that when you're cleaning up that everything is washed good, because you can contaminate everything that you're touching with the poultry.
Lysol wipes are good to have on hand.
Yeah. Normally my frying pan's bigger than this.
Now, when you were cooking it at the restaurant, did you use just like a cast iron skillet like
In
this,
the
or did you
restaurant we
use, like,
had
fried
deep fryers, which held about 5 gallons of oil, and we would fry about 25 to 30 pieces of chicken at a time. And of course you had a timer, it's so hot. Normally your chicken takes anywhere from 12 to 15 minutes to cook. Being that our pan is so small, you have to be careful with the breast, because he's going to burn on the bottom if we're not careful. After waiting for that to fry, pour in flour some more.
Okay.
What have you found is people's favorite piece of chicken?
Everybody differs. There's some people that only want white meat, some people that want dark meat, and there's people that just like any kind, just because it's fried chicken. My preference is any kind. You also need to know your stove, how high it cooks. If it cooks pretty much true to temperature, anywhere between medium to high, that's where you want to cook it. Like I said, your grease needs to be about 350.
And is there a way to test your stove? I mean, to kind of figure out.
You can always put a pot of water on and measure the temperature, check your temperature like that. I suppose, or get an electrician out there. Yeah. I just have to wait for our time.
Beautiful. While the chicken's cooking, y'all want to make the macaroni and cheese?
Yeah. All right, now while that's cooking, gonna give that a few minutes. Let Susan take care of that. So now we're gonna go over to Leah Poole. She's our CEO of the CVB and the Chamber of Commerce, and she is going to make macaroni and cheese.
All right, y'all coming closer? We already did the noodles just because I didn't want that to take a whole long time while we were showing people. And right now we just have a bowl and all the stuff we're going to need to make macaroni and cheese, minus the spices because Miss Susan stole them all. we'll have to take them back. I learned to make macaroni and cheese from my grandma. There's no real recipe that's written down. It's just whatever you learned at her hands, basically. I did wash my hands, by the way. So the first thing we do is put in eggs, and I'm going to make about a half a recipe. We've already made one and put it in the microwave so we don't have to wait for the bake time. The oven is set to 400 to preheat, and we just start cracking eggs. And I'm going to use 4 eggs, which would be about normal what I would usually do for my family. And I'm going to get eggshells in there too, so I have to take those out. It's always fun. It's only when you do stuff like this that you mess up and get stuff like eggshells. I like to make sure everything's room temperature whenever we cook with eggs or heavy cream, just because it keeps it from cooking if you put hot noodles in there. I learned to make macaroni and cheese with heavy cream, not milk. So I'm going to use about half of this pint, and I'm just going to pour it in there, and I'm just going to look at it and make sure it's about half of it. Don't measure a lot in Southern cooking, I have found. I'm just going to beat up the eggs and the heavy cream. And in making this, the only 2 seasonings that my grandma uses are seasoned salt, or seasoned olives, Miss Susan calls it, and pepper. And generally what she does is she just makes sure the top of the eggs and the cream is coated. There's not really a measurement.
Okay.
It's just the top is kind of coated like that. Then you can really use whatever kind of cheese you want. I prefer sharp cheddar and Colby Jack, but we're using what we have here in our kitchen today. So we're using mild cheddar and mozzarella. So I'm going to use 2 big handfuls of the cheddar. The cheesier the better. And I'm going to use 1 big handful of the mozzarella. And from there, we're just going to mix it up again. Just making sure that the eggs and the heavy cream are coating the cheese. Oh, Amanda, are you going to eat this because it has eggs in it?
It's baked in, so yes, I'll eat it. I don't like eggs. But if it's baked in where I don't know it's there, technically.
That is just about the consistency I was looking for. You can kind of tell this, once the cheese gets incorporated in there, the eggs start binding everything together. Kind of goopy. Looks very special. I'm going to grab my noodles. Sorry, they're way over here. Oh. And I cooked these beforehand, just with water, put some extra virgin olive oil in there, and some seasoned salt. I'm only going to use about half of these because I cooked the whole box. And just like spaghetti noodles, macaroni noodles tend to multiply when you cook them. For whatever reason, when you cook macaroni and cheese like spaghetti, you get a whole lot more than you intended. Just going to mix it all up again.
Got somebody watching from Ireland, by the way.
Hello, Ireland. I want to go to Scotland, but I would take Ireland if I had to. Let's see. That's about what it looks like. You'll see it starts to get kind of bubbly almost. And the reason I made sure everything was room temperature is because I didn't want those really hot noodles to start cooking these eggs beforehand. I'm going to take some vegetable spray here, or whatever this is, canola oil spray, and I'm going to spray the pan. Mine doesn't usually stick to the pan, but since this oven is one that I'm not as familiar with, I'm going to do that so we don't stand here and cook dishes all day long, or wash dishes, sorry. I am going to put it in the pan, and I still have too much. I tend to cook for an army, like Miss Susan over there. Cook enough for I don't know how many people. Lots of leftovers in my house. And then again, because more cheese the better. I'm going to grab another, maybe not quite as big of a handful, and I'm going to put more cheese on the top. And I always like to cover my macaroni and cheese when I put it in the oven, because it does tend to bubble a little bit, and it keeps it from getting that hard crust on the outside.
Right.
So I'm going to stick it in the 400-degree oven for about 40-45 minutes. And since I've already made one, we don't have to wait for that to cook, but we'll be able to eat one right away. Pardon me, ma'am.
Yeah.
That's a pretty easy weeknight recipe, though.
Oh, very
That
easy.
doesn't take very much time. And it's a lot better than getting it out of the box.
Oh yeah, it's a lot better. Although that it's, well, yeah, it's a lot healthier probably too, since the ingredients are fresh. The chicken was looking good. Yeah, we still got a little ways to go.
You have to use shake and bake.
No, we do not shake and bake.
That would be sacrilegious. Like chicken bake.
Shake and bake is not southern.
No, we do a lot of baked chicken, but I'm the shake and bake. Now that my kids are grown and they want to eat healthier, so we do baked chicken a lot more.
Yeah.
When we do baked chicken, I kind of do it the same way, so the chicken's wetter, and you just toss it in flour after you've seasoned it, so it has a little crust.
Okay.
That was what we were famous for at the restaurant, was our fried chicken and our baked chicken.
Right.
And your meatloaf. That's because you like meatloaf.
And turkey and dressing.
Turkey and dressing, yeah. Yeah. If you use fresh oil, your chicken's not going to have that dark crust on it. It's going to be a lighter.
Mm-hmm.
If it's
Okay.
older oil, then the outside's going to be darker.
Okay. I did not know that.
Yeah. Because it's fresh and it's never been used.
Mm-hmm. Do you like eating cold fried chicken?
I love it.
Yeah. It's always good for picnics.
Yeah.
Or breakfast.
Anytime. Chicken's good anytime. And you could chop it up later, put it on a salad, or yeah,
Mm-hmm.
really whatever. There's many uses. Not just frying or leftovers. It always goes good with macaroni and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, no vegetables today for us.
Well, some places do count macaroni and cheese as a vegetable.
A lot of people count macaroni and cheese as vegetables. Well, then we can say we had a vegetable then. Yeah.
Now, while we're waiting for that to fry, why don't you just kind of go through the recipe a
Okay.
little bit again, just for those that have just joined?
All right. If you don't know how to cut up a chicken, then you can buy the pieces that you want to eat. Always wash it and cut off the extra fatty pieces. It's important to wash your chicken before you use it. Then I salt and pepper it and put the season all on it. I have my flour ready, and I use the self-rising flour. While you're doing all this, you could go ahead and put the oil in your frying pan or your deep fryer, whatever you're using, so that way it's getting hot. I like to leave a little bit of moisture on the chicken so that the flour will adhere to it, and it'll leave the crust on it. And once your grease gets to 350 degrees, you put it in there and let it cook for 12 to 15 minutes.
And you just use regular vegetable oil.
Regular vegetable oil. Yes, self-rising flour.
And a cast iron skillet.
Yes, that's my preference. Everybody has their own, but that's what I prefer. There's our chicken leg.
That looks beautiful.
Our breast is still going to take longer because it is so big and thick. Not quite ready. Why don't you think that one's quite ready? Because he's still white in the middle. And because I don't have a thermometer, if the juices run clear in it, then it means it's done, and this one's not quite clear. It's a little pink.
Yeah.
Just so everyone's aware, the breast is mine.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
The other Southern cook picked her piece of chicken out already, huh?
I would like a leg. That's my favorite.
Whatever.
I like dark meat and fried chicken.
I like it.
A lot of people call
Tasty.
the leg and the thighs short thighs.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do not know the different types of, or different pieces of chicken, from the wing, the leg, the thigh, or the breast. You'd be amazed.
Isn't there a difference between just normal thighs and a short thigh?
It depends on where you're at and what they call it. But it's the thigh.
Short thighs. I don't know if I've ever heard anyone call it that.
It's a thigh. And they call it a short thigh. Because they'll call the leg a long thigh. Some places do,
really?
or some people do. Just depends on where you were at and what it was called growing up, or what your grandmother may have called it. Yeah.
Here's our final macaroni and cheese. It's really good. Got just a little bit of brown on the top, golden brown.
Yeah, it says
Looks
for
great. And Leah, how long did you say that you need to leave the macaroni and cheese in the oven?
about 45 minutes, but really if you just watch it and look at it, after about 35 minutes, I'll usually look at it and see
Right.
if it's bubbling or if there is any kind of crust on the top of it, that kind of thing. And then you'll be able to tell. And you can see when you cut into it here, which is not going to make for a pretty picture later, but everything's cooked inside. The eggs are all cooked, that kind of thing. If you didn't have some type of crust on the top, then it's probably not done. If it's still really pale on the top.
Yeah.
Because the cheese on the top is going to melt first, so it makes it a little bit more difficult to see. But in the macaroni and cheese, we had the macaroni noodles, of course. I made a half one for the demonstration purposes. This was a whole one. For a whole one, I would have used a full pint of heavy cream, and then 8 eggs, and then 4 large handfuls of cheddar cheese, and 2 large handfuls of mozzarella, and salt and pepper to taste. Everything's just mixed up. It's put in the baking dish and it's put in the oven 400 for about 45 minutes. It's pretty easy, but it's also amazing how many people don't know how to make macaroni and cheese.
Yeah. Unless it's Kraft.
Unless it's Kraft and comes from a box. Yep. It looks like we're getting about ready to eat, so we can probably have our handy dandy helper go get the rest of our people who are going to eat with us.
I went ahead and put some more pieces of chicken in here.
Right.
So that the temperature of the oil doesn't drop while I still have this one in.
Okay.
Whenever you're putting your chicken in, you need to make sure you use a lot of the flour off, because the flour will burn if it sticks to the bottom of the pan. My pan's a lot wider, rounder. So you can cook more at one time. Smell-o-vision.
I know it. That's next.
It does smell really good. And we didn't eat lunch today. Several of us didn't. Just
Waiting on
savoring
chicken and
our
macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, saving our calories for this afternoon.
I had to get something for lunch, but I'll sacrifice and eat some more.
Just because it's chicken and macaroni and cheese? I'll take this roast out. I'm not going to be done at the moment. You got big breasts? Yes.
I was really, really hungry.
You must have handpicked that one.
I did.
It looks like it came in a package by itself.
No, I think
You could have. That was a really big chicken.
Do you prefer a particular brand of chicken?
No. Normally I cut up my own chicken. That way you get the liver and the gizzards and the neck. All of that in there.
And what do you do with all that? Fry it too?
Fry it.
Do you?
Yeah. Yes. Well, you don't waste anything on the chicken.
My mom always made giblet gravy
Yeah.
for Thanksgiving.
Do that with the turkey because it has the same parts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just making sure it's covered
Right.
really good. The people who do join, we want to tell them what we're doing again.
So we're in the kitchen with Miss Susan McCorkle, and she is cooking up some fried chicken. She's been doing this since she said 13,
Yes, 13.
since she was about 13 years old. So she knows what she's doing. We've got some chicken already in here cooking, some already done.
You know, all of us over here hungry, waiting to eat.
Right. We have macaroni and cheese. Let's see what they got for us. We're excited about pizza today.
We're just waiting our time. I don't have a breast in this one because it is so big.
Mm-hmm.
Since Leah already told us she's the one eating the breast. Pastor Hayes' wife, Opal, said she's on her way. There's not enough for you, Opal. Stay away from the chicken. We breakfast in a cup. Yep, we got plates. I didn't know if you wanted to take a picture before we start eating.
Yeah, I think that's cool. We'll take some pictures.
You can take some chicken then. You mean the chicken? What that red is? I can't see it underneath this.
Is everybody waiting to eat?
Yes. Always. Especially perfect.
Okay. I'll see if you look at the chicken. A lot of people use lids on their chicken to hold the meat in to begin with, and then they take it off halfway through.
Mm-hmm.
I don't bother with that. Everybody's different when it comes to cooking their chicken.
In this case, you said you don't see many people using a cast iron skillet anymore.
Right.
Why do you use a cast iron skillet?
The heat stays more evenly in it, and you can control it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it makes your chicken taste better.
Yeah.
And it's another one of those things, that's what my grandmothers always used.
Right.
That's how we learned.
How do you wash your cast iron?
I wash it, dry it, and then I'll wipe it with oil. Because if you let water sit in it, it will rust. And once you get one, you hardly ever get rid of it.
They're expensive too now.
They are.
I was looking at one online the other night. It was $160.
Sometimes Walmart carries some.
Do they?
At a decent price, yeah. Yeah. I have a cast iron casserole pan that I love, love, love. Yeah. My mom's got the deeper one, so it's easier to fry in.
Mm-hmm.
The chicken will actually float. And that's what I've cooked in growing up, something like that. You can tell the wings starting to float there.
It should be almost ready.
Oh, your thigh?
Let's do that. Alright, y'all have tasted it yet?
It's very, very good. I'm about to. Macaroni's outstanding. I'm waiting on my thigh.
Mary's waiting on the short thigh.
I'm just macaroni and cheese. Wow.
Oh yeah, oh good.
That's very good.
But I don't really like fried chicken skin. That's really good.
It's the best part.
I know. I always talk myself out of eating it because I know it's not good for me, but
Not
it really tastes good.
Some things are worth the price to pay. Yeah. Alright,
Mary's short thigh.
Alright, we're going to wrap it up so that you can enjoy fried chicken and macaroni and cheese. Thank you, Miss Susan.
Thank you.
For coming and cooking for us. And thank you, Leah, for making macaroni and cheese. And we'll be posting this on our Facebook page with Liberty CVB on our Facebook page, and we'll also put it on our YouTube channel. You can find us at Liberty County Convention and Visitor Bureau on our YouTube channel, so we'll get that posted up later today with the recipe. Thanks for watching.